reconnect us.
Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Holding Court with the Empress of West Hollywood.
Yay!
My name's Enoch Miller. Studio audience, Jesus Christ, it's only Wednesday. Seriously, my clothes are still on. Jesus. It is Happy Hump Day. We want to give a special thank you to our amazing producers, GayLifeLA.com, for helping make this possible. Yay! And also Kings Road Apartment Homes for letting us have this amazing space here, which we're drinking from their shop.
Oh. Yeah, let's do it, drink up.
Oh, cheers. Already.
So fresh, so tasty, so clean.
I love this show already.
We got it lit, that's why. So it's just like, I love it because you got me alcohol.
You got me dry.
So we're so excited to have this amazing guest here, Drag Race All-Star Royalty, Mariah Paris Balenciaga! Woo!
Yay! Thanks so much for having me.
Of course! I love having you, always. But no, we just so glad to have you because you are so much fun around here. You're always good to see you. And you have so much fun because you're bubbly and nice.
Oh, well, I mean, hey.
It depends on who asks. I mean,
right,
she's great.
Completely. It depends on what time of day it is. Because, like, right now it's like morning, my morning, and I'm drinking my breakfast with you. So,
cheers.
I'm happy about that. Cheers. But, oh my goodness, but don't catch me, like, in the evening or the morning, like after work, and I get back home,
which is like 4 or 5 a.m.
4 or 5 a.m.
Yeah,
and they messed my food up.
Oh no! At LA Buns and Company, or
no? There was this one. I'm gonna make this story a little anecdote quick, but no, I went to one restaurant that's open 24 hours in West Hollywood.
Oh, okay.
And baby, I went and I got it to go. I got all the way back home in Hollywood.
Yeah, you live like way over by
Hollywood
like...
and Western.
Okay,
area.
yeah.
So I get home and they gave me, for the Asian barbecue salmon, they gave me regular barbecue sauce like you would put on chicken tenders or something. So I was like, no, and I called them and they were like, no, we only have one kind of barbecue sauce. I said, no, you don't. Not for salmon. No. I was like, so I caught an Uber all the way back to the restaurant and I was like, because I want you to see this. And I was like, here, take it, because I don't want it. And it was the pettiest thing, but I was like, no, you don't give me chicken finger barbecue sauce for salmon. So, anywho.
This is why
don't get me drunk. Don't fuck with my food when I'm drunk. Don't fuck with my food when I'm drunk.
Well, I say don't fuck with your food, period.
Right.
I mean, that's like, whatever you have, a queen that has her food, you don't fuck with her food. Ever. At all. Especially from a lady from the South, because she knows good food.
Baby.
So let's go back all the way to the beginning,
Yeah, it was a different scene. It was fun. Back then, it was clubs like Tracks on 306 Lucky Street. Back Streets was still open. It was just a 24-hour club.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was awesome. Everybody was there. Straight, gay, trans, everybody. And, of course, the dragons were all front and center. And but, of course, the climate has changed in Atlanta now. It's, like, really kind of suburb. I call Atlanta, like, the suburb of all the cities.
Oh, really? Damn.
It's like...
How often do you get to go back and visit the hometown?
Gainesville or Atlanta?
Or Atlanta.
I was about to say, I don't go back to Gainesville.
She's like, I got the hell out of Dodge.
I mean, I always knew I was different, and they weren't short on reminding me that.
Well, Jesus.
But,
especially in Georgia.
But Atlanta, right. In Atlanta, I used to go about once or twice a year.
Okay.
I wish I could go more, but, the schedule's hectic.
Well, exactly. And, I mean, that's kind of where, you got your start with everything kind of right around there in that area, which is really fascinating for a lot of people who don't realize this. You grew up in that very heavy ball scene that a lot of people don't know what an actual ball is and the concept of everything with that.
Yeah.
So could you give us a little education as to what the ball scene is, especially over there in the South and everything you guys there on?
Well, usually when people hear ballroom, they think of the dancing. Yeah, dancing, and it's actually an underground culture that was given birth in Harlem.
Right.
Old Harlem, back in like the 1920s, where like queer and drag individuals would get together and mingle, and then it became more of a contest of like, ooh, who's more sickening? Start out as like social events for undercover, of course, because then it was illegal.
Exactly. And that was kind of where the whole concept of like the movie Paris is Burning came into being, and that was just that whole atmosphere of there doing these performances, and there's these different categories, and you're trying to kind of one up each other and doing this.
It evolved into that later, like after the '60s, and the '70s, and then of course more categories were added, and ballroom started to reflect the change of gay and queer culture, and they started branching out, including more and more different aspects of the spectrum, and just became more inclusive.
Yeah, and it's really fascinating, I mean, to see some of the ones they had. I mean, they had stuff where you dressed up as a military person. They had stuff where you did best female impersonator and then best drag, and then it was so intricate that the time and the process they went into everything and what they did, and it was just fascinating to see that culture kind of evolve throughout the years. What does kind of the ballroom scene look like now in 2018?
Well, it's so different. Like I retired some years ago from competing. I think I'm gonna get back into it this year, but that's a whole nother can of worms. But there's just so many more categories, and it's still considered underground. It's still a lot of people of color that are looking for inspiration, family, creative outlets, and just bonding. That's to me, that's the fundamental groundwork of ballroom scene and the gay families and the houses, is needing a place to belong, a place to express yourself and your creativity, and just feel comfortable. And that, first and foremost, is what ballroom offers. Then you have the competing and the accolades and the attention, and you become kind of like your own, like a celebrity in your own culture. And ballroom is so underrated by mainstream, because there's so many people who come to our culture, ballroom culture, and take our ideas, take our the dance moves and style, and ballroom gave birth to voguing, and it's not given its proper recognition.
So they just really kind of take different facets of it and just integrate it however they want to in pop culture.
And don't bother to give accolades or credit where it's due.
Wow.
So and you know that comes. That happens to a lot of different cultures, you know, and a lot of different groups that don't necessarily have the finances to voice or to take it back, and actually monetize their creative abilities.
And especially, I think I don't think many people realize how often that they don't see that this kind of culture is, like you said, it's very underground. A lot of people don't pay attention to even know that it's even there unless you're from areas that it's very prevalent, and I think they kind of overlook it, where, I mean, even though they're like, it's
chosen to be overlooked because it's people of color, and predominantly people of color, like Latino, blacks, and it's it's overlooked by choice.
Yeah,
like,
which makes sense.
But with mainstream, if it doesn't have the right packaging for, I guess, people keep saying this whole middle America thing.
Yeah, right. No, yeah, exactly.
If it doesn't have that right packaging, which oftentimes is white packaging.
Right, exactly. So that's unfortunate.
That's why ballroom doesn't get a lot of its just due.
Yeah.
But things are changing because we have a lot of talent that have gone into bigger arenas. Like, So You Think You Can Dance, or actually I think it was America's Next Dance Troupe. But Laomi, at the time she was a Mizrahi, but she's the Wonder Woman of performance.
Oh wow!
She does the spins, crazy,
like
dramatics.
Just crazy, like just running around, just like basically jumping around all over stage.
Oh no! That's what people do when they try to imitate what she does. Yes. And then Deshaun Wesley, he now lives here, I think. But they were in a group together with Pony and one other guy, I can't remember. But they brought voguing to that platform on national television here in the States. Oh, wow. And now they're flying they've started houses in Paris. They've been doing things in Germany and all over the world. Wow. And just because their creativity finally got its proper recognition.
Well, that's amazing. And then I love that you keep bringing this up, the different aspects of houses, because I don't think a lot of people also understand, because they hear it now thrown around so loosely, the house of this, house this, but it really started as, like you said, it was this family of people coming together like-minded people trying to band and create this kind of
yeah.
this family from some place that they've never really had a true family from.
Right, and a lot of people don't realize that even today, from like back then and even today, people are still shunned by their families for being who they are.
Oh wow!
And being thrown out to the streets, and then of
That's
course
true.
survival instincts kick in, and a lot of these young kids do what they have to do to survive, whether it's prostitution, whether it's stealing, and ballroom gave mentorship and gave these kids a way to sharpen their skills and their creativity, and through that mentorship they were able to channel that into being designers, being consultants, being dancers, and being able to actually make money off of their creativity.
Yeah.
And so ballroom has definitely saved a lot of children from the streets.
Yeah. And you were a part of a pretty big house back in the day. You were part of the House of Romani originally, when you first got started, and that's kind of how you came up with Ryan, everything with what you started doing with her. And then you also went off of that later on to do your own house for the House of Balenciaga.
Yeah, I'm one of the founding members of the House of Balenciaga with Raquel Lord, Harold. We got to a point in the respective houses that we were in where we just wanted, I can only speak for myself, where I wanted to build something.
Okay.
I wanted to be a part of building something new and fresh instead of just joining another big house. I wanted to be part of giving birth to something and contributing what I could.
And besides mentorship, what were the main facets of what a house was there for? It was there for family, it was there for mentorship, but what were the other specifics that you joined a house for?
That was it. When I went to my first ball in '99, I saw the camaraderie.
Okay.
That to me, that was like I saw not just stereotypes of us on TV, and at the time there was even fewer representations than there are now.
Right.
But I saw people hugging, kissing each other like lovingly, not in like a sexual way, but it was just like seeing people embrace, seeing grown men hug each other, not be afraid to express, "Hey, I'm happy to see you," and you belong here. And that level of comfort and sense of belonging is what initially attracted to me.
Okay, so
attracted into it.
They just provided that atmosphere of a safe space and inclusion and everything that you weren't getting from, like you said, like from a regular home.
Oh, well, I got that. I got it because my household was United Colors of Benetton, honey.
Oh.
Girl, my older brother is blonde hair, blue eyed, and not in our household. We were never told. We didn't have those limitations of what masculinity and femininity were supposed to be.
Okay.
I was never told to man up. If I fell, my mom was just like, "Get up and try it again." There was no manning up.
So you were the lucky ones that got in the good house.
I was one of the few. I was like, there was things like, my mama didn't teach me too much about handling money, but I always knew how to make it. But yeah, I never had that problem until I left the house. I was never treated any differently. My brothers, when I finally told my younger brother, he looked up at me and was like, "You don't even sound gay." Really? Right.
Really?
But to my brothers, I only ever sounded like me.
Me, yeah. Okay.
I always only ever sounded like their brother.
Yeah.
So not until I left the house was I confronted with, "Are you a girl? Are you a faggot? Are you a punk? You speak white. Why you talk like that?" It's just so many different things, depending upon what school system I was in at the time.
Okay.
When I went to the city school, it was like, "Oh, is you a girl? Why do you speak like that? You think you're white?" And then when I went to the predominantly white school that was further out in the country, I was being called zebra, black and white TV, just all the horrible things that kids and their parents could come up with. It's laughable as an adult because I've learned to have it. But as a child, I cringed because there was a career fair or something at my elementary school, and a blacksmith came, and I just knew. I was like, "Oh my god!" It was just like you just knew something was coming.
Yeah.
And but that is another thing that ballroom helped teach me is to be tougher and to grow a thicker skin, but in a safe environment. Right. Because of course, queens, children can be shady and catty, but you know what? It comes from a place in the ballroom scene, from a more loving and understanding place. When somebody reads you in the ballroom scene, it's not because you're different. It's to toughen you up and get you ready for everybody else.
Gotcha.
you know.
It's to just, like you said, it's to build that thick skin. So
survive.
Where you can go out in the real world, and when everyone's like being mean to you, you're just like, okay, I'm good.
Baby, having that comeback, bitch. It's like, girl, please.
Well, that's the best part about it too, and I think that's what makes a lot of these queens that everyone loves so much is because they are just quick and they just know how to fire back off, and you don't have nothing to say afterwards.
Baby, what can you say, girl? She just lit you up.
So let's get into this drag race scene, because this is the stuff that's just like all tea, all shade. That you go for days. And I especially think your season, for season 3 of Drag Race, was, I mean, pretty pivotal. I mean, season 1 honestly was, I mean, it was bringing them there. It really was. And I mean, it was just great to get it on there on TV, VH1 in the very beginning. But I mean, for
Vaseline
you guys,
filter and all.
Yes. I mean, seriously. I mean, if it's good enough for Lucille Ball, it's good enough for all of us. Like, really. But, I mean, your season, I feel, was really pivotal, and it's just, you had so many strong girls on that. It was so many strong personalities on it.
And they were all individual personalities.
Yes.
Nobody was trying to create a brand
right.
or... I think it was a really good raw season.
Right, exactly.
A lot of different types of queens that were strong in what they did. And I love seeing that. It's like, you're fabulous at what you do. Now match that against me being fabulous at what I do.
Right.
Instead of people trying to be what they think the producers want to see.
And that's the thing that's been driving me a little crazy about these last couple seasons. Is like they're tailoring to, okay, I'm going to do this so that way the audience doesn't chew me out on social media, or the producers like me, because then like the producers like me, maybe they keep me around a little bit longer.
When you're genuine, people will buy what you're selling. Mm-hmm. Period.
Exactly.
And if they don't buy it, well, girl,
bye.
There's a thrift store down the street, bitch. You don't have to get my wares. If I'm too much for you, honey, you shouldn't have even asked the price. So,
what would you say would be the hardest part about Drag Race for you, of being? I mean, I guess it'd be
the aftermath, or in the actual process?
In the actual process, and then we'll talk about the aftermath.
Well, the hardest thing for me at that point was because I was so used to ballroom scene and competing, mm-hmm. and I compete with my category was drag space.
Okay.
Which is pretty much, I live as a boy, I am a man, mm-hmm. and I get in drag for the competition.
Right. And boy, does she.
Was to be like laser point focused on the competition who I was competing against, because I would compete against trans women, bio women, other drag queens.
Oh, okay. So you had a very broad range of who you compete against.
Well, certain categories.
Okay.
And so, so it was about coming up, analyzing, strategizing, figuring out who was throwing the ball, who the judges were, what my effect was going to be. So I was always like focused. Okay. I never knew how competitive I was until I became a drag queen. But so that hindered me a little bit, because with ballroom you want the element of surprise. So when you hit the end of that runway, bitch, everybody gags.
Right.
Well, for production and television, that doesn't work as well, because I was laser focused on my outfits, my hair, and I was like, I don't have time to talk to them.
Yeah. Not the in-between, the fluff.
I'm not trying to talk to Manila, bitch. I got to steam this dress. I'm not going out there wrinkled in blue velvet. No. Not when she has her pineapple dress. I've got to be steamed.
And that's the thing is like the quotes you had, I think, were like the longest list of quotes that people would use after your season from you, of just like one-off shit. We're just like, oh wait, I got a couple of them.
It was so bad. Like, well, it was so long ago now. Like, people who were in middle school are like, you know what? My dad watched you. I was like, I'm not even that old yet. You were like, my mom loves you. Doris, my fave. I'm like, okay.
I mean, but seriously though, you were, I would think, one of the top 3 most memorable. Just out of all of that group.
Because you go on Reddit and tell those kids that. I'm like, girl, you were in elementary school. They're like, who is she? I'm like, girl.
No, it's like you had some of the best, like, what I look like I got Fix-A-Flat on my face. like
I got, you know, I mean, the girls that get work done to look like the celebrities, girl,
more power to
get your gig. I hope you increase your fee, but I couldn't. Not in my face, but I also never had that problem.
No, it's true.
You know,
it was just like, For days. Mugs for days. Mugs for days.
Shout out to
Don't fight me, right?
Fight me, Mom.
Love us some Danny. But it's true, though. I mean, it's just, I mean, you were one of those few people on there that was just very, I don't care what you think about me. I am who I am. This is who I am. Take it, leave it, done.
Because one thing about me, if I give an opinion, it's usually solicited. And second, it's not out of malice.
True. You're just being direct.
Yeah, it's like if you asked me, okay, well, fine.
Yeah. Here's my opinion. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
But it's nothing personal against the person, because if I don't like somebody, I'll definitely say it. I don't mind.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So when I'm giving critique or feedback or it has nothing to do personally with the girl.
No,
I was asked for it, and that was my observations that were twirling in my head, and they were solicited, so there you go.
Yeah, if you want to see a fun rendition of that, go to the Abbey at a Friday night and watch her have someone come be like weird to her, and she's like, "Girl, don't." And you just it's that don't where you're just like, "Oh yes, ma'am, yes, okay, I'm gone." But let's talk about the biggest part. I think for you has been the aftermath of Drag Race, because you have just. I mean, everyone wants you, everyone loves you, you do amazing performances, and your presence is just what people, I think, eat up. What for you was like just the biggest part of afterwards and the touring and the going around?
The biggest and the hardest part for me was learning how to perform.
Okay.
Because I knew how to make a presence, I knew how to have a presence and to make an entrance, because ballroom.
Right.
But that is like boom,
and
lightning quick, 45 seconds to a minute, and you have to have an impact that quick.
And you're just like,
and then you go into the process of elimination mode.
Okay.
But with performing, you have to be out there, and you have to keep people's attention for 6 minutes.
Yeah.
So, and I wasn't a performer before Drag Race. So I had to hurry up and kind of catch up and figure out how to keep people captivated for that long. Had to start learning how to memorize music, because all the music I listen to at home, a lot of people don't know this about me, but most of the music I listen to at home is all male music.
Oh, okay.
Because I love, like, Peebo Bryson, Johnny Gill, like
the good shit.
Like, so like there's something about male. So it was hard for me to switch into listening. Of course, I love all the female artists,
right?
But to listen to it over and over and over again.
Yeah. But to have it down pat,
yes,
and be able to like have that flaws where it's like they're watching you perform and it doesn't look like you're like
memorization wasn't my
pineapple.
elephant shoe tuna. But memorization wasn't my strongest suit, and I knew I had to catch up because a lot of the other girls had been performing before, and so yeah, the evolution of my stage presence as a performer is definitely probably the biggest thing.
And what would you say was like the one part about it that you enjoyed the most about the, like, at least the last year of it, of touring that you did or anything like that?
My favorite part is meeting everybody.
Okay.
Like people, like I love, baby, you can have a cocktail and I will talk your ear off all night. And but just all the different people from different walks of life, different stories. Different personalities, and just having all of that inspire and influence me continuously is like my favorite aftermath, of course. And then the traveling. I like to travel and see places that I never would have thought I would have access to visiting, like Austria, Venice, Vienna, and just different places. It's amazing, and the different cultures that we have the privilege to have access to after being on Drag Race.
And I just love, I love that you bring it up, because, what Drag Race did is made it from more of just like, oh, it's a local scene, to this international scene of what I've heard so many queens say, where they just like, I did not realize how many people actually watch the show around the world. Like, they're like, oh, we know it's a lot of people in the U.S., blind, whatever, U.S. But then you go out on an international scale, and you just realize there are thousands upon hundreds of thousands of people that are watching and are fans. And what was just kind of the impact of going and seeing what Drag Race has done on an international scale from your perspective?
It's made people from different cultures, starting here domestically, feel more comfortable about wanting to explore their sexuality, their personalities, just different ways drag has strengthened them and given them a chance to overcome whatever obstacles or traumas they've had as gay and LGBT youth growing up.
Yeah.
Drag has always been in the forefront of empowering people.
Right. And I really think, I love that, I mean, it's exactly the truth, because it's really given this ideal of, like, you can be whoever you want to be, however you want to be it, and you can express yourself, and you can see people that have been working at it for years and years and years, and you realize, like, hey, I'm not the only one doing this by myself in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
There are other people.
Yeah, there's other people like me. There's other people that have the same struggles that I have, because we aren't being anybody different than a typical straight person, male or female. Like traditional ways of life in this country, you're given a blueprint, a format of, okay, you get out of high school, you go to college, you marry your college sweetheart, you get married, you have kids.
Yeah. And 2.1 kids, 3.1 dogs.
Right, and the picket fence. But we're told that, you know what, we can't even have that.
Right.
So we have to figure out and navigate our life, our personalities, without most of the time without any point of reference.
Okay.
Wherever, like, I guess normal society, you have people to inspire you and encourage you. You know, try out for that basketball team. You know, go out for that swim meet. You know, play tennis, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts. We're not even wanted in that.
Yeah, exactly.
So to be able to navigate and have an image of somebody that inspires you, like, that's different and out of the box, that might also be shunned, gives a lot of people hope and inspiration to navigate their own lives and journey.
Yeah, and I think it brought a really positive light to it all, and it's really, like you said, it's just brought this level of just respect for, I think, for what all these women and men and trans men and trans women, I mean, it's, this whole community has just really exploded in an understanding that I think a lot of the LGBT community itself didn't really understand as part of what the drag community did, because they're just like, oh, it's just a bunch of guys that dress up in wigs, put on some clothes, and, like, have fun. And it's like, no, there was so much more to it.
Yeah, and now with, I'm going to cover two different things with my next statement. With mainstreaming of Drag Race and gay culture, it's so much easier to start separating yourselves from the base community. And you forget the idea of community, because the whole fundamental principle of our community was because we need each other. We need to look after each other, watch each other's backs, because people are there that want to hurt us. Well, now with mainstreaming, you see pockets and people separating because they're like, oh, I don't need y'all anymore. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm passable. Or, you know, I don't get picked on, so I'm not going to be identified with you.
Right, exactly.
So now you have people within the community now looking at each other with their nose tooted down. And it's just like,
who are you?
You got to bring it back.
You
got to bring it back. And I think that with mainstreaming and with gay culture and with drag has its positives and negatives. And with the negatives with Drag Race mainstreaming is the fact that people have access to culture without necessarily having to earn it.
Oh, okay.
Or to have that experience. And so it's not appreciated on that deeper level. And then with mainstream of gay culture, it's too relaxed and people forget that we still have a fight to fight.
Exactly. And I mean, it's true. We get a little complacent in some areas where we're just like, we start feeling, oh, hey, we're okay, we're good, we're out. It's like, no, we still have more to do to progress who we are as a community.
Yeah, you see so many gay businesses closing because people don't feel the need, they need
to support
to go there anymore.
It's
like, oh, I can go to a straight club, I'm cool, I'm safe, I'm fine.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're forgetting these safe places for us that made us safe and allowed us to be safe in who we were for so many decades are going out of business because you don't have to worry about being clocked. So it's like, guys, don't forget, support your gay businesses constantly.
Support your gay business, support your gay fellow LGBT community members, whoever that might be. I mean, it's just, make sure you just support each other. I mean, it's the biggest part of it all.
And the positive for Drag Race is the fact that people are seeing how much power, how much spending power drag queens have and how much they generate. Go into some of these clubs when there are no drag queens at night. It's crickets.
It is crickets for sure. And one, it's I mean, not even just bringing the crowd. First of all, how much you guys spend alone on your wardrobe, on on your everything else you have, your accessories, your makeup, all that stuff. I mean, spending power that you guys have alone in and of yourself to make up who you are. But you're right, exactly. Who you guys all bring to the club, who you bring to events, who you bring to something else. I mean,
it's taken for granted a lot.
It is.
Because just as recent as, what was it, season 9.
Mm-hmm.
Honey, the fact that Drag Race moved from a Monday to a Friday shook the night.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it did.
Baby.
People were flipping out about it. I mean, I've heard bar owners, all these people were like losing
promoters,
their shit. Yeah.
Bar managers,
all
restaurants. They, at that point, realized that they should, well, I hope they did, realize that they should stop taking drag queens and performers for granted.
Yes, I hope so.
And we're not just drag queens. We are fucking drag queens.
But also, I mean, you guys are badass business individuals as well. You are business owners. You are entrepreneurs.
During my season, we didn't have, and the season 2 and 1, we didn't have like reputable management firms to go to.
Yeah.
Like once we were done filming, it was like, go figure it out.
Yeah.
We had people that like pretended to be managers or promoters that took our money.
Yeah.
That ended up working at Domino's, and it's just random ass shit.
Yeah.
Oh God, I've got stories. But the fact that now there are huge management companies that are getting the girls booked around the world.
Exactly.
We're learning how to manage our money better, paying taxes. You know, there's so many different things that we've had to integrate on the business side of being a drag queen.
Oh, I mean, you guys end up becoming a small business owner, basically. Yeah. I mean, you really are that whole quintessential, what a lot of businesses are around here are like, where it's just like, it's one individual running all, like, your finances, your accounts receivable, your accounts payable, your booking.
All creative department.
Exactly. You're a marketer, you're a publicist, you're all of this, and like you said, especially in those earlier seasons, but still, it's like, it was, I think, how difficult was that for you, or how much did you learn through that?
Well, social media is probably the hardest thing for me because I'm used to being, I'm a hairstylist by trade, so I was used to being behind the camera, being a piece of the puzzle, and then the client would be the finished project, the whole picture. But to have to talk about yourself constantly, to be in front of the camera, and to social media, like, keep on putting. I'm not that fucking interested to post pictures of my food all day. I'm not always doing exciting things. Sometimes I'm just laying in my bed.
I've seen lots of pictures on Instagram of boys just laying in their bed.
Well, child, they have like rock hard abs and like cascading hair.
But she has a big personality. No.
But it's hard because I just don't think anything's that interesting to chronicle it all day.
And it's a lot, though. You're right, though. I mean, the people that can put stuff up daily and sometimes even like 3 or 4 times a day, we're just like, I know.
But we live in a voyeuristic society now. Like, people are always interested in how other people live and eat and spend their money. And the reality television is reflective of that.
Whole other thing. And
like, it's just it's ironic because I was on a reality show, but I do not like reality TV.
But your show isn't like the typical reality show.
Well, yeah, it's definitely not like the Housewives.
No,
everybody walking
it's
around.
A competition show, and it's reality TV of you guys.
But we have to have a skill set.
Yeah, it's like you have to be able to be good at what
We're
you're doing.
We're not just walking around spending money and pretending
exactly.
to like loiter in restaurants and boutiques while we talk about who said what about who.
Unless you talk about like the first episode of All Stars where they're just like hooking it on Hollywood Boulevard, then maybe.
I don't have to be on All Stars to walk on Hollywood and hook it. I need to pay the light bill, bitch.
Right? She's like, I got work to do.
Oh, that's right. Did you cut my check already for the show?
No, we're working on it.
Okay.
You take credit card.
It'll be in the mail.
Yes.
I've got my card reader.
She takes Square, her DP. She takes PayPal. She takes direct deposit. Yeah.
So y'all go on my Facebook and get my Venmo info.
Believe me, that ass takes direct deposit. Direct. And so, but I want to talk about another really amazing facet of what Drag Race has brought to being, which is DragCon, which is actually coming up here in May 11th through the 13th.
They added a day.
That's
May
right.
11th, 12th, and 13th.
Yeah, Friday they added the day for that. So because before it was just like this half-ass day for it.
No, it was Saturday and a Sunday. It was Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
But the popularity of it is like ridiculous.
I was so amazed by that because so they were showing numbers from it, and I don't really people look at it, but if you go see the numbers for it, from year 1 to year 2 here in LA, the whole entire guest count for year 1 was on the first Saturday of year 2, and it was just like the entire group that they had counted up for that in all 3 or 2.5 days on the first year was the equivalent of the first day of the second year, and it has exploded, and I'm just so amazed by what they've been able to accomplish.
Yeah, we're actually at the DragCon is going to be at the Los Angeles Convention Center, and it's going to be in the South Hall, which is the biggest one.
So it's
it's the biggest hall.
Okay.
So y'all make sure y'all go to RuPaulsDragRace.com and get those tickets because we gotta fill it.
Well, I mean, seriously though, I mean, you guys have no problem filling it though. I'm just
that's what she
not
said.
even. That's what she said. But also too, I mean, just the fact that also the vendors had doubled as well. There's so many new and amazing vendors that are there.
Hair, clothing, makeup, cosmetics,
all of it.
Art. We have
art. Our new stuff is coming for art as well. Exactly.
Actually, one of the a gay artist commissioned a drawing of myself and had it turned into my shirts. Harvey Del Rey is amazing. Y'all
it was actually a nude, but she decided to put something on up from here, so she put on a wig. That was about it.
Completely. But it's like all kinds of artisans. You have people who knit. There's all kinds of crafts, all kinds of talent there represented.
And even stuff for pets now.
Yes.
Which is blew my mind when I saw they had wigs, they had little dresses and stuff for pets. I was losing my shit. It was the cutest thing ever.
Cute.
They have so much there available. And did you got to go to New York for the first one there? How was that?
South Strawberry.
Because I didn't get to go to New York.
Oh, it was so good.
Okay.
It was amazing. It was at the Jarvis Center.
Okay.
Yeah, Jarvis Center, and we had an amazing turnout. And it was just nice. Mm-hmm. And everybody in New York, a lot of people came that haven't. Either couldn't afford to come to the West Coast or it conflicted with work, were able to come because we were on the East Coast.
That's fantastic.
And it's awesome. And I know they're going to have another one in New York this year.
Yeah. And I'm honestly anticipating this to become every almost major city ending up having their own DragCon every year. I mean, I can see it now of this turning into something bigger than that. And plus now going on an international scale and then have it DragCon Paris because they're doing Drag Race Thailand now.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
It's just, this brand is just launching and going so far.
But that's what happens when you don't have a format to work off of.
Right.
Because there's no glass ceiling.
No, there is none. There isn't. It's only up from here.
Baby, there's no stopping. And that's the power of drag.
There's no stopping. That's the power of drag. New quote from Paris Balenciaga. This will be on Reddit later. So you have also another thing you're doing with World of Wonder. If people haven't checked it out, she's on. If you haven't seen, it's usually Raven and Raja. They do it, but we've had some amazing appearances from Mariah on there with her. And is it usually just you and Raven, right?
Yeah, it's they usually have when Raja's not there or Raven's not there. They usually have a nice rotation of alumni, Drag Race alumni come in and do the RuPaul's Drag Race fashion photo review.
I love watching that.
Yes, it's so much fun to shoot with them girls, and it's awesome to see the pictures and you know.
So usually, are you? Because I know Raven's a see you next Tuesday. When she's like, if I don't like it, she's like, nope, done, gross.
No. Yeah.
Do you try to be a little bit nicer to some of the girls?
I like to see. I like to see the positive in anybody's creativity.
Okay.
So, but if it's just not working, it's not working. I'll see the effort. I'm like, you know what? They put effort into it. I see where they were going.
Right.
But
it just wasn't there.
Sometimes I do have to boo.
Yeah.
But I hope all the girls. I hope anybody who's on Toot and Boot, featured on Toot and Boot as the subject of our Tootin' and Bootin', realize that it's in fun and it's in jest, and Most of the girls know it's
and
for
it's
entertainment.
also your opinions as well.
Yeah.
It's just what you guys think of it.
People could chew me up, and they have. So I'm like, it's like, oh, okay, you know what? And sometimes I look, and I'm like, ooh, you know what? That was a miss for me.
And you're just like, okay,
yeah, I'll take that one. I'll take that one on the chin. But it's always fun to do it, and it's great. It gives the fans something to talk about and debate online. You know, they love going back and forth.
Oh my god, they love debating. That's what drives me crazy. Is just like going back and forth, back and forth. You just read some of those comments. You're
they
like,
get
child.
intense. They are. We have some of the best fans, but there's a handful that rarely go too far.
Like our friend Eric says, they're passionate.
They're really passionate.
They're passionate. And then you have another one. She has a few coming up, by the way, but she has another one with Kimora Black called "Wait What."
Girl, you know, we just dive into different subjects that we should have a little bit more knowledge about, but we were preoccupied with things that were shiny and pretty.
Girl, they were doing their hair. That's what it was. They're just like, I was brushing my weave. And
yes. And but with that series with Wait What and a few other things that are coming out, World of Wonder projects, you have to subscribe to WoW Presents Plus.
Right. And if you haven't checked that out, they'll give you a little preview where you can go check out like a snippet of it. I think it's like 30 seconds
it's like
or something.
Taste,
yeah. And then you go there, and it's just actually really smart because a lot of media companies have been doing this now where you go and actually pay for content because if you want it, you better pay for it.
Well, I mean, a lot of people don't realize that it's not just us sitting in front of a camera cackling. Well, that's what we do.
That's what we do.
But there's a lot of work and there's a full staff behind the production of it.
The lighting, editors, the lighting, like you said, the crew, I mean, some of those editors too do a ton of work. Like,
it's a lot.
Trixie and Katya's show, it was like a 24-hour job to edit those things.
And it's like, you know, I think that the fan base has gotten so used to getting free content. That they've become a little spoiled, and I'm like, babe, there's so many people online complaining. Why should I pay for this?
But it's cheap though.
$3.99.
Yeah, for a month.
But see, that's the bad thing is when you have too much access, and don't appreciate it.
Right. They just expect it.
They expect it. We should just be doing this.
Right.
And it's like, no, honey, this is work.
Yeah, I can
it's
make my
fun.
point.
It's fun work, but people have to be paid.
Yeah,
engineers, sound engineers, lighting people, production, they have to be paid, and the light bill and the production studio has to be paid for.
Rent's got to be paid, girl.
Right. So y'all go.
That building is a big ass building. Yeah.
That's not even a drink in West Hollywood.
No,
and you got these queens taking pictures on Rodeo Drive that are complaining about $3.99.
Exactly, and also, I mean, seriously, that's cheaper than a drink at Trunks. And I mean, that's shit ass cheap drink. But wait, for Christ's sake. But you're right, though. I mean, we have gotten to expect content,
free content,
and it's just, I mean, again, $3.99. Support your local queens and support their locality. We're gonna get her a little refresher.
Oh, I got a refresher.
We're gonna bring up the next one.
Oh, y'all got production budget.
Yes.
Oh, just like that.
I got a bitch. Love you, Brad. Thank you.
Thanks, Kings Road Apartment.
Lady. Thanks, lady.
Thanks, lady with a dick.
Lady with a dick.
So we got some of my best friends are ladies with dicks.
Yes.
Right?
And some without.
And some with anything in between. And she has another one coming up here soon. Radio show going to be on the Universal Broadcasting Network.
No.
It's called
Mom.
No, it's What About That with Mom.
With Mom.
Morgan, Angina, and Mariah. And we're the fun moms.
M-O-M.
They are the fun moms.
See what we did there?
Especially with those three. I cannot wait to see the shit that's going to be going on with you three. Because you are sassy as fuck. Morgan is like direct as fuck. And Angina is just goofy as hell.
Morgan is nut butter.
Well, depending on whether or not she's wearing her fake tits or not, yes she is. Because that's where she likes to come.
So y'all can go check us out on UBN Radio.
What day?
Channel 1. Comes out on Mondays at 2 o'clock.
Awesome. And if you don't check it out, you can do it because they do it Facebook Live, so you can see that always. Channel 1, they'll have it.
No, you get 5 minutes of Facebook Live. Then you got to make sure that you tune into the radio show because you need to subscribe, download that UBN app because, bitch, that's how we get sponsors. That's how we get paid. So,
Money, honey.
Business. Business. Drag is risky business, but it's business.
And is there anything else we should be aware of coming up for you? Any performances, any gigs, anything else that's crazy?
You can always catch me at Mickey's in West Hollywood for the Showgirls.
That's Showgirls
on Mondays.
Yeah. Was that start at 8 or 9? I think it's
10.
Oh, 10. It starts at 10.
We get there as soon as they open at 5 and drink our lunch.
No, they don't. They get there at 6.
Do.
She gets there early, but it's like everyone else gets there at 6:30. They're rushing to get their makeup done, and they're like, I'm on stage.
Yeah. And then
it's
you
always
can also
late.
catch
It's always late. Just get there at 10:30, 11. You'll be fine for the new show.
I'm always on time.
No, she's always on time. Everyone else is late. That's why it starts late.
And then you can also catch me for my RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars Season 3 viewing party at 33 Taps in Silver Lake.
Yeah.
And we always have wonderful surprise alumni guests of Drag Race. For the premiere episode, we had Manila. The second episode, we had Adore.
Oh, fun.
And this upcoming Thursday on the, the 10th?
What is this next?
What's this Thursday?
It's the 8th.
It's the 8th. We have Jasmine Masters, the queen of having something to say. Yes, ma'am.
She's got everything to say. She loves it. But no, she's amazing. And is she going to do any kind of performance or anything?
Oh, no, there's no performance. We do drag bingo at 7.
Oh, nice.
And then we have our viewing of the newest season at 8 o'clock.
Do you guys do the, what's the behind the curtain?
I don't show you anything
behind the jockstrap.
So check Mariah out. All things social media. If you want to get on Facebook, it's Mariah Paris Balenciaga. It's on Twitter and Instagram. It's Mugs for Days.
Mug singular.
Mug for Days.
MUG number 4 DAYZ.
S-Z. So we get to check it. And just follow her everywhere. Just find her around
Mickey's.
Right.
And
hi.
I'm getting my website ready so y'all can go see my calendar, get my merchandise, and make sure you come and spend money with me at DragCon this year.
Yeah, exactly. Because you can get beautiful things like this.
These are colorful things.
Shirts. And these are great. I love these. I wear these all the freaking time. So we want to thank you so much, Mariah, for being here and sharing with us.
Yay!
All the kisses. Thanks for having me.
I always love having you.
Cheers.
She's my favorite. Always my favorite. We want to give a special thank you to GayLifeLA.com for making this happen. Gay Life. And then Kings Road Apartment Homes for letting us have this amazing space here. Thank you so much, Kings Road. We'll catch you guys next week where we'll have lots more fun. Thanks. Bye.